Things our grandchildren may never see.
Do you ever worry about what the world will be like when our grandchildren grow up?
Hang on. We haven't had our baby yet. I'm not thinking about grandchildren.
I know, but having a baby makes me wonder. What will the world be like when he or she grows up? Well, look at these pictures. Don't they make you worry about what could happen in the future?
OK. Of course, things are going to change a lot in the next 100 years, even in the next 50, but...
I know, and I'm getting worried. Everyone says global warming is a fact nowadays. No one says it may get warmer or it might get warmer anymore. Scientists say that it definitely will get warmer. It's going to be a very different world for our children and grandchildren.
Look, Hannah, it's no good worrying. Not all scientists think the same.
Yes, I know, but most do. Look, it says here over 2,500 climate scientists agree. They say temperatures might rise by up to 4 degrees centigrade before the end of the century. Dan, this is the world our son, or daughter, is going to grow up in.
Hannah, you've got to take it easy. You're having a baby soon and I
can't help being worried. If the Arctic ice melts, there'll be floods and the polar bears will have nowhere to live. Oh, look at this!
Come on, Hannah. Look, here. It also says humans are clever enough to find solutions. We'll do our bit and we'll bring up our baby to do the same. Every little helps.
OK, but maybe it won't help. It may be too late already.
What do you think will happen? 1.
Do you think the Earth will continue to get warmer?
Yes, I do. The more I read about it, the more I think it will. A few years ago, I wasn't so sure.
2.
Do you think all the ice will melt at the poles?
Well, I don't think all the ice will melt, but a lot has melted already. Do you know, a new island near Greenland has just appeared. They thought it was part of the mainland, but it was just an ice bridge and it melted. It's called Warming Island. A good name, don't you think?
3.
Do you think polar bears will become extinct?
I think they might. They only live in the Arctic, and I read that the ice there has decreased by 14% since the 1970s.
4.
Do you think more people will travel by train?
Definitely. I think lots more people will choose train travel when they can, especially across Europe. Of course, it won't always be possible to.
5.
Do you think that air travel will be banned to reduce CO2 emissions?
Well, I think it could become much more expensive to travel by air, but I don't think it'll be banned.
6.
Do you think new sources of energy will be found?
I hope so. Some people say nuclear energy is the only answer, but I think this could cause more problems. Actually, I like wind farms. They look amazing, but I know some people hate them.
7.
Do you think there'll be more droughts or more floods in the world?
I don't really know. There might be both droughts and floods. I think parts of London may be flooded. There's already a barrier across the River Thames to stop flooding.
8.
Do you think our lifestyles will have to change?
Definitely. They're already changing. We're told all the time to do things like drive smaller cars, use cleaner petrol and recycle our rubbish. That worries me a lot, the amount of rubbish we make.
1.
Have you decided about your holiday yet?
No, not yet. We've never been to Prague, so we might go there.
2.
Are you going to take an umbrella?
No, I'm not. The forecast says it'll be fine all day.
3.
Why are you making a list?
Because I'm going shopping. Is there anything you want?
4.
Would you like to go out for a drink tonight?
Sorry, I'm working late. How about tomorrow night? I'll call you.
5.
What are you doing Saturday night?
I'm not sure yet. I may go to friends or they may come to me.
6.
Are you enjoying your job more now?
No, I'm not. I'm going to look for another one.
7.
Your team's rubbish. It's 2-0 to United.
Come on, it's only half-time. I think they could still win.
8.
You won't pass your exams next month if you go out every night.
I know. I'll work harder nearer the time, I promise.
Rocket Man.
Steve Bennett's ambition was to be a rocket scientist. A few years ago, he almost won a £10 million prize, the X Prize. Now, Steve is building a rocket that will take him and 2 passengers up into space. He believes that space tourism is not really that far away.
Space tourism is just about to happen. There are quite a lot of people around the world actually putting a lot of money into space tourism, so it's simply a question of when, not if. You know, just as the internet made billionaires, well, space tourism is going to make trillionaires. And all the big names are at it. You've got Jeff Bezos, he did Amazon.com, he's building his own spaceship. You've got Richard Branson, even he's commissioning somebody to build a spaceship for him. So it really is going to happen.
And what are you intending to take people into space in? What is your rocket?
A rocket that can carry 3 people into space. We're not going into orbit, it's going straight up, straight down. But it will go into space. It'll give you about 3 or 4 minutes of weightlessness. You'll see the blackness of space, the curvature of the Earth, and you really will truly become an astronaut, just like the early American astronauts.
And you're going to be one of the people who goes up, so it's going to be you and 2 space tourists. Have you been up in this exact rocket before, Steve?
No, we're still working on this one. We've launched 16 big rockets to date, but this actual space tourism rocket called Thunderstar, we're still working on it, we're still building it. I was influenced as a small child watching too many episodes of Thunderbirds, I think.
Were you very much struck by the first moon landings as well?
Yep, I was about 5 years old when they landed on the moon. My parents wouldn't let me stay up to watch the actual landing, which is a bit of a shame.
How mean.
Yeah, well, they just didn't get it. Oh, it's marvellous, but they should spend the money on something better kind of attitude.
Lots of young boys will have had exactly that kind of experience themselves, but very few of them will now have a business that is making rockets. Did you always feel that eventually you would get to do it professionally?
I kept it pretty quiet. 10, 15 years ago, you start talking about space tourism and people, they think you're nuts, so you keep that kind of thing to yourself.
Why do we really need to do that, though? I mean, is there actually any necessity to have more humans in space?
Well, that's pretty much where the human race needs to be, you know, in terms of expansion. You know, there's enough resources in space to allow the human race to continue to grow and expand for the next 10,000 years.
What kind of training do you have to do in order to go up in the rocket?
Actually, one of the most important things we do is skydive training. We feel that if you haven't got what it takes to jump out of an airplane with a parachute, you really shouldn't be strapping yourself to the top of a 17-ton rocket.
These 2 other people who've already booked their place on your Thunderstar, do you know who they are?
Absolutely, I've taken the money.
Right.
Well, it's a couple, it's 2 people that want to fly in space, and they came to me a few years ago. And basically they said, Steve, we want to fly in the rocket, here's the money, and they paid me £500,000 for it.
And how often do you consider the possibility that something might go wrong?
I think about it every day, you know. I've built a lot of rockets. Most of them have worked really well, some haven't. And I think about that every day.
Arranging to meet.
Mike, it's me, Gary.
Gary, long time no see. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Listen, I'm coming up to town next weekend, and I was wondering if we could meet.
Oh dear, I'd love to. But this weekend of all weekends, I am so busy.
Look, you must have some free time.
Yeah, I'll just get my diary. Hang on. OK, shoot.
Right. What are you doing Friday evening?
Friday evening? That's my Spanish class. Our company's going to do a lot of work in Spain, so we're all learning Spanish. But I finish work early on Friday. I could meet you in the afternoon.
No, I'm afraid that's no good. My train doesn't get in until 7 o'clock. Have you got any free time on Saturday?
Let me see. What about Saturday afternoon? I'm having my hair cut in the morning, and then I'm meeting my sister for lunch, but I'm free in the afternoon.
Oh, no, sorry. Saturday afternoon I can't. I've got an appointment with an estate agent. I'm going to look around one of those amazing new flats by the river. Didn't I tell you? I'm changing jobs and moving back to the big city.
Hey, great news, Gary. I knew that small town life wasn't your thing.
Yeah. So, what about Saturday evening? Is Saturday evening any good?
Sorry, the evening's out for me. I'm going to the theatre with friends. We've had it booked for ages. But hang on, what time are you leaving on Sunday?
Late morning. I'm getting the 11:55 train.
Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't we meet at the station?
Good idea. We could have coffee together.
I've got an even better idea. They do a great full English breakfast at the cafe. Let's meet there for breakfast. Should we say about 10 o'clock?
Sounds good to me. But can you make it 10:30? It is Sunday.
Fine. 10:30 it is. I'll see you then. Bye, Gary. Hope you like the flat.
Fingers crossed. Bye, Mike. See you Sunday.